And welcome back. The Obama administration continuing those normalization efforts with Cuba, today approving the first ferry service to the communist island nation in decades. Could it open up travel for hundreds of thousands of people and then potentially millions of dollars in goods and cash? Joining us now is Alina Hernandez, managing editor of Newsmax.com. Alina, how is this being seen, not just here in this country, not just in South Florida, but elsewhere? Is this a positive step in this relationship, or is this troublesome because of the amount of money that could be going to Cuba?
Yeah, I think for many in the Cuban American community, the concern is, too much too soon. There's going to be now certainly more goods, more people going down there. The question does remain, however. The Cubans have not said that they've given permission to these two companies in particular, one out of Mexico and one out of Florida. So it remains to be seen whether they can really accept certainly things like daily trips, ferry deliveries of goods and people. So it remains to be seen whether they're going to be able to open up their tourism to that extent. And
there have been calls from this country for more transparency and more openness for U.S. officials to walk around freely in Cuba, and also for dissidents to speak their mind. Has there been any movement from the Castro regime in that regard?
That's the big concern. We see nothing in terms of human rights efforts by the Cuban government. Certainly there's no freedom of speech on the island. There's no freedom of thought. Those with the jobs are members of the Communist Party. We'd like to see something move in that respect.
Well, and then also we have this issue with these so-called Cuban 5 spies in Venezuela this week to pay tribute to Hugo Chavez. That visit comes as U.S. relations with Venezuela are at an all-time low.
That seems to me a very good political public relations ploy by the Cubans. They've had very long-standing ties with Venezuela, and they're still funded in part by Venezuela's oil, and they're definitely trying to let their partners there know that despite the fact that they're warming up to the U.S., they continue to have very strong economic and political ties to Venezuela. All
right, some diplomatic jousting on the sidelines in terms of public relations. Alina Hernandez, thanks so much. We know you got to get back to managing the website, Newsmax.com. Always good to spend a few minutes with you.
Thanks, John.
All right, our pleasure. All right, let's turn our attention now to our Rehash segment, where we look at what's trending and what's popular across the web. Random.
Well, Twitter is all the buzz with responses to Mike Huckabee's big presidential announcement yesterday. Yeah. Let's take a look. While the former Arkansas governor certainly has, his share of fans, like anyone running for office, well, you're bound to find some detractors as well. Case in point, Planned Parenthood. Here's a look at what it tweeted in response to his decision to run. Quote, when hashtag Mike Huckabee announced his presidential bid, we were suddenly filled with memories of all of his insults to women. They also used the hashtag not my candidate, which we saw a lot on Twitter.
Yeah, probably not a lot of convergence there between supporters of Huckabee and
not
Planned
so much
Parenthood.
of a surprise there, I'm sure, for most of you.
Yeah.
The former Arkansas governor also got knocked for his stance on LGBT rights by the Human Rights Campaign. Here's a look at that tweet. Quote, we could rehash hashtag Mike Huckabee's anti-LGBT rhetoric, but it's better to hear it straight from the horse's mouth. With a link to a blog post, Huckabee, not surprising to some, isn't making too many friends on the left.
Yeah, and I doubt the Huckabee camp right now is too concerned about the political arm of Planned Parenthood or Human Rights Watch.
Probably
he does have
so much.
A number of supporters, though, on Twitter, including, anybody would like to, most people would like to have Chuck Norris as a supporter, right?
Yeah.
Mike Huckabee's gone. They're longtime friends.
So.
Mike Huckabee has Walker, Texas Ranger in his corner again, along with this image of a quote from Huckabee. It says Chuck Norris doesn't endorse, he tells America how it's going to be.
There you have it.
It's good to get a Chuck Norris reference in there.
That's right. Well, moving away from politics, another topic trending on Twitter, National Teacher Week. The National Education Association tweeted this yesterday. Did you know Tuesday, May 5th, is hashtag National Teacher Day? Make sure you hashtag and thank a teacher all week long. Retweet to spread the word. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
We've had some great teachers.
Great
Both of us.
teachers.
We've always talked about that. We've
We
been
have.
really blessed to have some wonderful teachers in our lives.
This year, yeah, at my daughter's school, we brought flowers to the teachers.
Oh, that's nice.
That's pretty nice. So, also, getting back to politics, possible presidential candidate Rick Perry got in on the action. He quoted a John Wooden, the legendary basketball coach,
right.
Who worked for a long time at UCLA and won 10 NCAA championships in a row while he was head coach at UCLA. As I mentioned, the tweet says, "I think the teaching profession contributes more to the future of our society than any other profession," along with his hashtag, "Thank a Teacher."
I couldn't agree more.
That's right. And when we come back, we're going to talk about our money, bombs, and war chest segment. It's not as violent as it sounds.
Yeah,
it's about campaign finance. Just 2 days after his presidential, yes, it is. It's important presidential announcement coming. Dr. Ben Carson already has the support of a few big super PACs. Find out how much money the candidate's campaign has brought in.
And coming up,
they're cut. They're the pimp. That's why it's illegal.
Jesse Ventura on the hard line, why he thinks marijuana should be legalized.